What is an algorithm? Basically, algorithm is about steps to finish a job or a task. Algorithm also needs a starting point and a stopping point. If you are talking about how to reach your school from your home, you will need a transportation, right? And that's what algorithm looks like. Let's say you need to choose one of these following options. If you walk to school, it will take 1 hour. If you use a car, it will take 30 minutes. If a bus, 15 minutes. Helicopter, 5 minutes. Or maybe a rocket, which only takes 1 minute. If we want to write it down on a computer program, for example, Microsoft Visual C, it would be like this. Or maybe this. Or many more. There's a lot of ways to express it, but let's take this one for our example. In this part, you need to input your choice of how you are going to school. If you choose 1, you will walk to school for 1 hour. If you choose 2, you will go by car that takes 30 minutes. 3 would be bus, which will take 15 minutes, and so on. This part is the end of the program, which is the output, where it shows what kind of transportation you use and how long it will take. And there you have it, the algorithm of how you go to school. But there's a lot of programming language and they have their own way to express it. For example, C++ and Java programming language have different ways to express what they want. Sometimes it will be hard for them to communicate and they might misunderstand each other. Because of that, people have invented another way for different programming language users to communicate with each other, called pseudocode.
Pseudocode is used to represent programming algorithm. It still uses the structure of a programming language, but it is more intended for human reading rather than machine reading. In this way, people who use different programming languages will easily know what the others are talking about. Taking an example code from before, we can say this is for read input, and this part is for selection, and the last would be the output. If you write it down, it will be read input. For the selection, if the input is 1, then we will set the transportation to walk and the time to 1 hour. If the input is 2, then we will set transportation to car, the time to 30 minutes, and so on. And the last will print the transportation and time. It's still pretty much the same if we compare it to the code from before, but in this way, you understand it better because it's written for the human reading rather than for the program itself. There is another way to represent algorithm other than pseudocode, which is flowchart.
Flowchart is a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. It is also very helpful in writing program and explaining program to others. And then, these are the basic symbols of the flowchart. The arrow is used to indicate the flow of logic by connecting symbols. The stadium shape is used to represent start and end of flowchart. Parallelogram is used for input and output operation. Rectangle is used to show that something is performed. Diamond is used to represent the operation in which there is 2 or more decisions. Taking either for the algorithm or the pseudocode, if we want to write it down, the first shape we need to make is the stadium at the start of the flowchart, and then we need an input which is parallelogram. The selection part will be diamond. If the input is 1, then inside the rectangle, we will set the transportation to walk and time to 1 hour. If the input is 2, set them to car and 30 minutes, and the rest is the same. Connect all of those into output. There is parallelogram again. We want it to print the transportation and the time. Connect the output to the end of the flowchart, and we are done. Comparing it to the code that we wrote before, you can see the difference, but it still serves the same purpose.
If you still don't understand the main concept of algorithm, what pseudocode and flowchart is, don't worry, you can try reading a book by Leslie and Robertson titled Simple Program Design, a Step-by-Step Approach, the 5th edition. We also set up a simple flowchart just for you, and there you have it.